All right, what's up, everyone? We are live on this Thursday night. It is April 11, 2019. Today, we have a great show for you guys. I actually got my barber on tonight's show, Charles, also known as on Instagram, Barberking713, if you want to check him out on Instagram. So, he's a barber here in Houston, Texas. So, I'll pass it off to Charles and he can give a quick introduction of himself.
All right, how you guys doing out there? How you guys doing? Well, I'm a barber in Houston, Texas, and cut a lot of hair. And what really got me into the business of cutting hair was, I saw my uncle cutting hair, and he was making pretty good money for himself. And plus, I looked up to a lot of barbers growing around my uncle, but that's how I got into it, and I just stuck with the schooling and all of that after I got out of the army. But that's about it. Got into it like that and just been getting better at it every day. So it's been working for me.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So, you mentioned when you were growing up, you saw your uncle, another barber. So, like when you saw them as like a younger person, like what exactly about watching your uncle cut other men's hair? Like what exactly about that did it? Like how did that appeal to you?
I mean, I seen that he was his own boss. He made his own hours and made a lot of money to take care of his family. So, I looked up to that. So that's what really got me into it.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So, like growing up, did you have any like other aspirations, like any other career fields, or when you saw your uncle, did you just figure out right away like that's what you wanted to do when you were older?
Yeah, I kind of knew that's what I wanted to do, but I also, I went into the army too, and I enjoyed that. But I was a barber while I was in the army, so it was kind of like, it was kind of good for me both ways. So I got to work in a field that I loved and got paid for it. So that's what got me into it after that.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So, yeah, you mentioned when you were in the army. So, when you were cutting people's hair in the army, like how did you like market yourself? Like right when you joined, did you just kind of network with everyone around you, or like how did the word spread that you were the barber in the army?
Yeah, I kind of just spread the word. I made out business cards and then I just handed them out. And once they got a hold of me, I took care of their kids, and other family members of theirs, so the word started spreading quick. So it was a nice little network. It didn't take that long though.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Like on like an army base, is there like a lot of competition when it comes to like barbers, or do you feel like there's only a few barbers on the base?
Yeah, I feel like it's only a few barbers on the base. It's not that many competition because most of it be like older people.
Oh, okay, I see, I see. So I don't know how accurate this is because like when I watched like movies and TV growing up, like what I saw was they usually had like an actual barber shop on the base. So was that the same case when you were in the army, or was it just like people just cutting on their own, like in their housing unit?
No, no, it's actually true. They do have like a barbershop on the army base. It's called like a AFES barbershop, and everybody knows it.
Oh, okay, I see. So would you say do most people go to that, I guess, that official type barber shop on the base, or do people more seek out a barber on their own?
Most people they normally seek out a barber outside of the base, because most of them on the base are like really older people. They're not in tune with styles and stuff like that. So mostly they venture out off base to try to find a barber.
Ah, okay, I see. So like, are those like? I'm not trying to like bash other barbers, but are they like they don't know how to do like edge ups and stuff like that? They don't do that.
Yeah, that's like the main thing, the edge ups, man. Crooked edge ups and everything.
Ah,
So
okay.
they
So
just
they're.
don't know how to fade.
Ah, okay. So they're like on the base barbershop. They're just doing like very basic type or old school stuff. They're not doing edge ups or designs or
No,
stuff like that.
they just doing regular stuff.
Oh, okay, I see, I see. That's cool. So, do you feel like so? Did you start barbering like even before you joined the army? You already got your start.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was actually working in my uncle's shop, the same uncle that I told you about that I looked up to.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in his shop before I joined the army.
Oh, okay, I see, I see. That's cool. So, do you feel like your time in the army that really like took your skills to another level by the time like you spent time cutting here in the army, and then by the time you got out, do you feel like that was the most important time in your skill development?
Yeah, I definitely feel like that because I never stopped cutting. And once you start doing something for a while, you just start perfecting yourself at it. So it's
Hmm.
like I keep perfecting myself every day, even to this day. So yeah, it did help out a whole lot.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So, let's kind of shift gears now. So, as coming up as a barber, like out of like the average person that you cut, do you feel like people are like how like for lack of a better term, like how like picky would you say the average client or customer is?
I think about 65% of them are pretty picky. I got a couple of picky clients.
I see, I see. So I was always interested because I mean, obviously, I've never cut hair, but
Yeah.
let's say if you have a picky like client or customer, like how do you like as a barber, how do you professionally, deal with that?
Just really got to be patient, because at the end of the day, you still want it to look like how the client wants it to look on them.
Mhm.
So you still got to give it all you got. Even though they picky and it might take a little longer, it's like, fuck it, just push through it.
Oh, okay, I see. That's cool. So I was always interested too. So like, let's say let's say you got like a new customer that you've never cut before.
Hmm.
So like, what's the difference between cutting someone like you've never cut before ever versus someone you've been cutting for years?
It's a big difference because everybody don't like the same thing. Some people like a low taper instead of a mid taper. So you really gotta you really gotta take the time out with a new client to kind of like ask him like what does he want? Do you like the arch high behind the ears or low behind the ears? Do you like the razor on your edge up? You really got to get to know them. It really takes about three cuts to really get the cut down and really get to know them.
Oh, okay, I see. Cool. That's cool. Interesting. Interesting. That's cool. So like speaking of that, so like what I think a lot of people don't realize is like as a barber, like not only I mean you gotta have technical skills, of course, but so how do you like I guess how do you develop or sharpen your like your artistic creative skills when it comes to like doing designs and graphics in people's
Mhm.
haircuts.
You just look at a lot of other people's stuff who out here doing it, and you kind of like make your own twist on it. You know, the more you see art, the more creative you'll be. You know, when you're trying to do stuff like that, like designs, you got to look at a lot of art. You know, to get the shapes and the symbols down, and a lot of other people work too. It helps.
Oh, okay, I see, I see. So like when you're in barber school, do they teach you about like graphics and designs, or is that something you gotta learn on your own?
Yeah, that's definitely something you got to learn on your own. I mean, they don't teach you nothing but the basics in barber school. You really got to be around some good barbers in a barber shop to kind of look at their work and try to, see if you could do better or strive to do better, you know? So, yeah, it's definitely a barber college just teach you the basics.
Oh, okay, I see. Do they teach you how to do edge ups in barber college?
Mhm.
Maybe.
Yeah, they try to, but most of the teachers in barber colleges, they don't know how to do edge ups.
Really? I didn't.
So
Really? Oh wow.
yeah, they'll be
That's
pushing
crazy.
people back. So it's like, and that's what they teaching now. Or a lot of people like to use the spray on edge ups too to try to cheat, but it washes off in the shower.
Well, that's crazy. I didn't know that. So in barber college, they're not really teaching edge ups like that in barber
Yeah.
college.
They just teaching you the basics. They teach you the basics and they're teaching you the book basics too, what you're gonna get the test on.
Oh, okay, I see. So like, how challenging would you say was going to barber school? Was it pretty difficult, or was it like medium level? Like, what was your experience with that?
It was like medium level, as long as you studied the book, because you got to take the test at the end. That's the hardest test, the 100 question test about sanitation and all of that stuff, chemicals and stuff like that. So it was like a medium. As long as you studied and paid attention in class, you was good.
Oh, okay, I see. That's cool. So like, let's say if there's like someone like a young guy coming up that wants to, be a professional barber. Like, does it matter what type of barber school they enroll in? Like, is there a difference between the different barber schools? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I would say it's not a difference between barber schools. That's why if you can get the cheaper barber schools, do it. Because they're just gonna teach you the basics. You really gotta wait till you get into a barber shop around like top-notch barbers, that's getting clientele for you to kind of learn off of them and stuff, for you to really like get deep into it, the fades and all of that, you know?
Oh, okay, I see. So I mean, it seems like yeah, you gotta go to barber school just for like I guess the fundamentals or the very basics, and then kind of like the next level in learning is outside of barber school is getting in a shop, and it seems like all like the edge ups, the fades, tapers, all that. Like, would you say like all that stuff is really learned when you're actually in a barber shop?
Yeah. All that stuff is learned. Because, when you're in a barber shop, you kind of in competition, with everybody else. So they kind of makes you like, if you come in fresh out of barber college, they're gonna think you the weakest link automatically. A team is only as strong as its weakest link. So you gotta get stronger, to be up to par, basically. So it'll make you wanna do better.
Oh, okay, interesting, interesting. That's cool. So, like, would you say most barbers? I mean, they go through barber school, and then like, would you say like a vast majority of them, like they like to build up a clientele and their skills, like they gotta start off in a shop first. They can't just go to school and then like open up like their own office or shop or whatever. Like they gotta put in the work as being like a member of a shop first.
Exactly, exactly. You gotta put in the work because you gotta build up your clientele. That's the hardest thing to do. Get people to believe in your skills. You know, you gotta build that clientele up and be patient with it. But once you do, then you can look further as like getting your own shop. When your clientele just starts, getting overwhelmed, and you can facilitate them in your own shop, your own office, private cuts. Make them feel more comfortable.
I see, I see. Yeah, for sure, that makes sense. So, like, what would be like? I don't know. It's kind of hard to like guess the number, but like, let's say you're fresh out of barber school and you're starting off in a shop, and like you don't have that many clients. Maybe you only got like 5 clients. So, like, how about like how many years and like how many total clients would a barber need to like go out on their own and have like their own private office where it's just them?
I say they would have to wait about at least 3 to 4 years, 4 years tops. Your clientele should be built up, where you got like fucking 200 people or 150 people that come to you, even 100 people that come to you faithfully.
Hmm.
You could facilitate them and, make it private, make it like a private cut. Everybody wants a private cut. You get tired of going to the barber shop these days.
Hmm. I see, I see. That's cool. So like when a new barber when they're building up their client base, like, I know it's different now, like because now we got like Instagram, Facebook, social media, and everything. But like back in the day, like let's say before like Instagram, for example, like when you build up your client base, is it a lot of it? Are you taking like a lot of walk-ins to make them your client, or are you building up more from word of mouth?
You really you really building off the walk-ins really, because if a shop is in the right area and every Friday, Saturday, somebody new is gonna be in the area and they gonna want a quick cut. So you really building that up. So you really proving yourself. If you do good on them and they come back from wherever they live, then you did good.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. So let's talk about like now in this modern age of like Instagram, Snapchat, and all that. So how powerful of a tool is social media when it comes to getting more clients?
Social media is a powerful tool because you could really go out there and add as many people as you want to. Some people look down on it if you follow too many people, but hey, I look at it as a potential client. But it is a potential client because if they see your work, you know, you got everything to win and nothing to lose, basically.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Cause I found you before I moved to Houston. I found you on Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. So talking about like current stuff. So how do barbers like as the years go by, like different style like hairstyles change, right? So
yeah.
how do barbers like how do they constantly keep up with the latest trends in haircuts?
It's really like you gotta use social media too. You gotta watch everybody else work who's doing, good work out there. And you gotta try to, you know, s- emulate them and be better. You're like, yeah, that's some nice shit, but, if I practice at it, my shit can be even better.
Oh, okay, I see. So it seems like in barbering, like there's never it's like it's constant improvement. Like you can't just stay in one place with your skills. Like I mean, if you do stay stagnant, Like, do you feel like you'll just fall behind and everyone else is gonna like leave you in the dust? Like, do you feel like you always gotta continually like educate yourself and develop your skills constantly, no matter what, no matter what? Like, even if you've been a barber for like 25, 30 years, like you can't just stop there. You gotta keep improving. Do you feel like that's the case?
Yeah, I definitely feel like that's the case. You can't just stand still and think that, you reach your pinnacle, because trust me, it's somebody behind you that's waiting to break your pinnacle. Just like records get broke every year, you got to keep
Hmm.
on going. Got to keep trying to educate yourself and elevate yourself, basically.
Okay, I see. That's cool. So, yeah, let's talk about now. So, I mean, as a barber, of course, most barbers are, self-employed. So, so can you kind of describe what that lifestyle is like of being self-employed versus, let's say someone working a 9 to 5? Like, like, can you give the people kind of a summary of what's the daily grind like between being just going to work 9 to 5 versus being self-employed and like it's basically you gotta do everything on your own if you want to make money. You gotta market yourself and actually cut people and all that. So can you kind of describe to the people what the grind is like as being a self-employed barber?
Hey man, it's scary. I'm gonna tell you,
Hmm.
it's scary but you got to get up every day, and just like the normal people, they go work a 9 to 5. They know what they're gonna get each day. You got to make yourself a quota. You got to make yourself a goal to try to get to, and you definitely got to keep marketing yourself because you never know when if something might happen. You have to lay off for a couple of weeks, but the grind is definitely every day. Like every day, I set myself a goal to make at least 160 a day, even on slow days. So you just gotta keep on trying to elevate yourself and grind
Uh,
more.
okay, I feel you. So yeah, it seems like if you want to be like independent barber, like you really gotta have like a strong work ethic. You can't because I know like some 9 to 5s, like you can be lazy and still make money because you can just get paid to show up and you're gonna get that check. But if you're a barber, like you can't do that. Like if you're not cutting heads, you're not getting money. So would you like advise people that are thinking about being a barber, like does that person do you feel like having a really strong work ethic is required if you wanna find success as a barber?
Yeah, it's definitely required. Good work ethic. Because hard work beats talent when talent doesn't show.
Mhm.
So I definitely believe in that. So definitely got to have a good work ethic. The more you be there, the more you won't miss out on walk-ins. And walk-ins are, potential clients that's gonna come back to you. You know.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So, so like today in the year 2019, so how does a barber like separate themselves from everyone else today? Like how would you market yourself? Do you feel like in today's like even in today's modern society, do you still feel like, your skills and your work ethic are always gonna shine, or do you feel like maybe social media can kind of cover up people that may be lacking in skills and work ethic?
Yeah, I definitely think social media may cover it up. Because there's a lot of barbers out here that's not really that good, but they popping on social media because they using all of this, this black magic, Beijing, and all that on the here. So. Definitely think social media is gonna play a part.
Oh, okay, I see. I mean, I think I heard or seen somewhere online, like there's some barbers that, I mean, they take pictures of their haircuts, but then they like Photoshop the haircut.
Yeah, it's a lot of that out here.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's like that's like being a fraud. But
Yeah, it is. Because the
uh,
minute you wash your hair, you're gonna take all the stuff they sprayed on you off. It's gonna be like, damn, it didn't look like this.
okay. So let's say like the barbers that let's say that do cheat and use like Photoshop and like Beijing and all that. Like, do those barbers do they last long in the industry, or do they like finally like get exposed for not having the skills and the work ethic, and they just kind of phase out and they gotta find something else to do?
Yeah, most of them phase out, unless they make big deals on their money. But it's like a new barber every day that does that, that does the art with all the ink and stuff, which is cool if that's what they want to do. But most of them phase out because it's somebody new every day. It's like a stripper. It's a new one every day.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, is that, would you say like barbering is, would you say it's, I mean, a lot of people, would you say it's easy to get into initially, but if you want to have like a long, successful career, like you can't fake that. You really, there's no shortcuts to that. You actually got to put in the work, or you're just not gonna have that long, successful career.
Yeah, you gotta put in the work every day. Like, man, make yourself better every day. It's always something you could perfect yourself in, or you can get better at. That's how I see it. Every cut I do, I look back at it and I be like, man, next time I cut him, I'm gonna do even better than this. So it's definitely you gotta put in the work and critique your work, because you can make yourself better.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. So, like, can you kind of describe to the people about, like, I know there's, I mean, like the consumer base for haircuts. I mean, there's some people that they only want to pay like $5 for a haircut, and then there's some people that only want to pay $20, and some people they'll pay whatever because they want high quality cuts. So, do you feel like there's like room for all types of barbers, whether it's guys that do $5 cuts all the way to like $200 or whatever? I do feel like in the barber game, there's everyone can find their own lane, or do you feel like the $5 cuts are like really like trash? Like, how does that work?
Hey, you know how I see it? I see it like this, man. Everybody got their certain levels. And if a dude sells his cuts for $5 and it's another dude out there that wants to buy a cut for $5, they just gotta, they at the point in their life where that might be all they can do instead of getting like a $40, $45 haircut. So, everybody's trying to make their money. I'm pretty sure the dude who's charging $5, he might raise his prices over the years once he feels more confident in himself. But, I think it's room for everybody in the game to eat. You just gotta go after your certain clientele. You can't go in the neighborhood in the hood and expect to get clientele up for charging them $40 a cut. You just gotta go at bigger clientele. So I think it's room for everybody.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. So, so like the barbers that do, let's say like the barbers that got like their own private office and they're charging like 40, $50 a cut. Like, I'm not sure how this works, but is there, do like, do like barbers kind of look down on other barbers that, let's say, that cut $5 or whatever, like, or is there like a feeling of superiority, or like you said earlier, do you feel like the guy that's starting off with a $5 cuts, he is just starting out and he's eventually gonna build up? Like, do you feel like barbers support each other like that, or do you feel like there's some type of like animosity or rivalry?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a rivalry in like barbers, compared to the $5 cut, because compared to their $20 cuts. I guess they feel like they're getting undercut by the guy that charges $5, but hey man, that's how it is in the barber world.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's a lot of haters out there.
Oh, oh wow, that's that's crazy. Yeah. So where do you see the like the barber game going in like 5 to 10 years from now? Do you feel like the overall, like, do you feel like the average barber in like 5 or 10 years, do you feel like that barber is gonna be a lot more skilled than the average barber now, or do you feel like it's gonna stay the same? Like how do you see like the trend going in terms of barber skills?
I think the barber skills might, they might possibly get better. So, yeah, I think they might possibly get better.
Oh, okay. Like, do you feel like it'll get better because there's like more access to like video tutorials on YouTube and Instagram and all that?
Yeah, I definitely feel that because in our society, it's a social media driven society. So yeah, I'm definitely believing that.
Oh, okay, that's cool. So yeah, it's almost 11, so I'll kind of wrap it up with the final question I ask all the guests on the show in
Okay.
regards to like career wise. So it's like, what advice would you give to like a young guy out there that, let's say, he has, a lot of potential with being, a good barber. So like, what advice would you give to that, young man or even young woman that, is coming up to barber school? Like, what would you tell that person, like, with all the knowledge you know now? Like, what would you tell them to help them out and I guess motivate or inspire them to keep grinding?
Hey, I would tell them, if this is your passion, you gotta go all out. You gotta put 1,000% into it. You know, it's gonna be hard days where you only make maybe $20 a day. You gotta take that and just next day just try to do your best to get better and get better at your craft, and try to network better. On social media when you get free time, just put in the work and you're gonna see results in the end. It might not be tomorrow, it might not be next year, but if you keep grinding and putting in the work, everything gonna be good. This is what you love.
Awesome, awesome, cool. So kind of additionally to that, so like as a young barber starting off, how would they, like, what would you say is the best way to network with people? Like, is it best to just try to talk to a lot of people like in person, or is it better to reach out to like hundreds of people online, or is it kind of a mix of both? Like, what's like, what would you say is the best method to expand your network?
I say it's kind of a good way for both, basically, because you can use social media. You could hashtag anything that you make, your work. You could hashtag your work. You can get in touch with people like that. without really doing nothing, no sweat, none of that, effortless, just pushing a button. And it's good to get out too, just so you can, meet certain people, like go out to like free events or whatever, like downtown, or if you're like on Sunday fun day, pass out a card here and there, who knows? They might hit you up. And it was effortless too. That's how I see it. You put in, if you throw out 100 seeds and only get one back, hey, that's one you gain.
Wow, awesome, cool. Well, that was awesome knowledge and wisdom tonight. Yeah, I learned a lot myself about the Barber game, but I'm sure all the everyone listening now, everyone that's gonna watch the rebroadcast, I'm sure they'll learn a lot, and hopefully maybe there's a young guy out there that's gonna watch this video, and that might really you know help him out and get him started.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's almost 11 now. Well, yeah, I want to thank you again, Charles, for joining us tonight. I know you're a
yeah,
busy
man.
guy, but I really, myself and everyone else, we really appreciate your time.
Hey man, anytime, man. I got you.
All right, man. Yeah, I really appreciate you and everyone that. So, if you want to follow Charles on social media, his Instagram is at Barberking713 at BARBERKING 713. You guys are ever in Houston and need a haircut, he's your man. Hit him up.
Hit me up.
Yeah. And I'll post I'll post his Instagram name on the video
Okay.
comment section. But again, thank you again, Charles, and thank you everyone watching now. Well, that's gonna watch later, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right.